Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Well, we are going to discuss why I didn't coyote swap my Mustang back in the day and why I don't plan to coyote swap it. So let's hit the intro and let's get to it. All right, y'all. The burning question of why I didn't coyote swap this car and why I don't plan to coyote swap this car. So, little backstory. First of all, we bought this car back in 2011 and we did exhaust, gears, some bolt-ons, tires, a little shot of nitrous. And we played around for that for a little bit. Well, obviously in 2011 when the Coyote, first came out. So fast forward to 2013, got a little cheat sheet here of stuff trying to remember. 2013, I came into some money, not life-changing money per se, I'm not rich or nothing like that, but it was a good chunk of change that at one time I wasn't gonna probably see again for a very long time. So in deciding what we want to do, I was like, let's build a car or let's do something. I want to start going faster. So we decided to stick with what we knew, what was in the car. So we had the motor, we pulled the motor, we built the motor up, rods, pistons, crank, fuel system, heads. We did the fuel system, we built the transmission, the suspension, like I said, turbo kit, and dyno and everything, and we were able to come out with, I think back then it was 650, 660 to the tire, if I remember right. It's been a long time. So we decided to do that. Now the Coyote Swap Coyote was just 2 years in coming out of production, and it wasn't probably, we didn't look to see the parts and everything and all that. Like, it was so new. It's an expensive swap. It really is an expensive swap, and it's still to a degree an expensive swap to this day, depending on what I would say the application, what you're trying to do, what the overall goals are for. The swap is anywhere. Don't know what happened there. GoPro decided to shut off, so picking it back up. Anyway, you can look on YouTube, Facebook posts, any forums or whatever. The swap is ranging from about 6,000 to 30,000, depending on your abilities, how much the parts are, things like that. And I mean, back then it was probably just as expensive, if not a tad bit more, because it was new. The motor was new. It didn't make sense to us back then at the power to cost ratio, because if you're, let's just call it 12 grand, 13 grand to put the Coyote in. Well, you can put that Coyote in and that's it. That's 400 horsepower, which is good. It's not terrible, but that's it. The motor goes in, and that's, say that's all your money for the swap. What if the transmission can't hold up? What if you have to cheap out on how you do the swap? I mean, there's a lot of little things when you're going into that swap that can affect it and cost to go up. And then say I was going to want to boost the car. That's another 8, 9, 10 grand, depending on the setup, what you do, things like that. And it comes down to the cost of it, the cost to power ratio. It doesn't make sense. Am I poor? Sure, call me poor, it's fine. But I wanted to make sense. I wanted it to make sense on that. And I mean, really back then we weren't even thinking of a Coyote Swap. So, and then we were building this motor, we built the car, and I was like, man, I want to do something different. You know, it's 2 valves, so I wanted a plate. I wanted something that people would know, you know, by the car, by the plates. I came up with, you know, just a 2V. So, you know, hey, it's just a 2 valve. It's a 2 valve mod motor. And that motor is gonna stay in the car. Now, I'll get, you know, we'll pull the motor out, we'll freshen it up and things like that. But that's why I didn't swap it, because of the power to cost ratio. Now, well, and obviously because it was real new back then. Now, why do I plan to not I don't plan to ever swap a Coyote into this car unless I hit the lottery. I don't plan to swap a Coyote in this car because, first of all, not a lot of people follow me. I have, you know, my stuff that's all 2 valve stuff, just 2 valve racing, you know, that's what it is, that's what I am. And I'm fine with that. And because where I plan to race it at, like the level of competition, that motor can handle it just fine. The 2 valve mod motor, how much I'm pushing now, I'm pushing over 1,000 on this car to the tire. And we can turn up, we can make more. I plan to run like true street style events, you know, things where it's, you know, a full interior, you know, not cut up, gutted car. I plan to keep it like, you know, street style, whatever you want to call it, street, index, whatever. This will never be like a small tire car. So there's no need to put a Coyote in the car. Because, I mean, unless I'm trying to go north of 2,000 horsepower, I don't need a Coyote in this car. The 2 valve will do just fine. So that's why I didn't swap. Now, you know what? If you want to swap a Coyote in your car, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. I will give a little shit to people on Facebook because I'm still a believer in the cost to power ratio, especially, you know, if you're having a shop have to do it, you know, the labor that goes into it, you know, things like that. You know I've not always been the most mechanically inclined, and I still say that, and I'm not. I am learning and trying to do better, but, you know, something like that, you know, labor costs a lot of money. So, but if you want to do it, go ahead, go do it. I mean, you'll make 400 right off the rip. You know, it's real easy. It really depends on what you're trying to do and like the applications on what you want. I'm only drag racing this car. That's why I plan to drive around cruises or whatever, and, you know, just drag racing it. That is what I'm doing. But that doesn't mean that's what you're doing. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy, man. The car culture, you gotta have fun with it. Do what you want. I mean, all the shit talking, man, take it with a grain of salt, man. We have fun, we take stabs at little jabs at each other and just, you know, bullshitting. But man, at the end of the day, we love the cars and we love racing. You know, that's just having a good time. But that is why I didn't Coyote swap my Mustang, and why I don't plan to Coyote swap the car ever. Because sure, I could, like I said, you know, I could pull the motor and pull the turbo kit and all that, and I could sell it and probably make pretty okay money, and I could, you know, be able to drop a Coyote back in it. Well, now I'm I'm down 800 horsepower, back down 400. Like, that's not fun. I'm trying to go faster, and I know where the level I want to be at and where I can afford, because like I've said, I'm an everyday guy. Like, Monday through Friday, still got a job, always will have a job, you know, got a family to help support. So, hey man, it's a hobby, it's a little lifestyle for me. So, but I gotta make it work for me. But, so yeah, as always, drop a comment down here if you want to tell me I'm crazy, that I'm not Coyote swapping it, and I didn't. Go ahead, it is what it is. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that to all you fine folks out there. Have a good one. We'll see you later.